Colleen, a mother who has invested years of love, care, and money into her son Ryan and his fiancée Emma's wedding, is publicly humiliated at the rehearsal dinner and subsequently decides to cancel the entire wedding. She asserts control over the vendors and finances, exposing the selfishness and entitlement of Ryan and Emma. Through the process, she discovers the betrayal, reclaims her power, and finds closure, choosing peace and self-respect over family obligation. The room shimmered with golden light and expensive flowers, the scent of roses thick and intoxicating. Colleen stepped into the ballroom, clutching her purse like a lifeline. Music and laughter swirled around her, but she felt invisible. Her son Ryan smiled at his fiancée Emma, avoiding her eyes, as though she were a stranger in her own child's life. Suddenly, the air shifted. Emma's voice pierced through the chatter, sharp and deliberate. "You're not welcome here." Her finger jabbed at Colleen. Heads turned. Silence fell. Every eye in the room was on her. Colleen froze. Her hands tightened on the clutch. The $50,000 she had contributed, the time she spent coordinating every detail of the dream wedding, seemed meaningless. Ryan's gaze was fixed on the floor. No defense. No apology. Just silence. She swallowed hard, forcing her legs to move. Heels clicked across the floor as she walked toward the exit. Each step felt like reclaiming a fraction of herself. Outside, the night air was cool, indifferent, carrying away the echoes of laughter and judgment. In the car, she sat alone, fingers trembling over her phone. Texts flashed from Ryan, from family, from friends. No one asked if she was okay. No one stood by her. Her heart hardened. The humiliation was complete. Then came clarity. She opened her wedding binder, meticulously organized over months. Every invoice, every contract hers. A slow, deliberate plan formed. If she wasn't welcome at the wedding, neither would be her money. One call led to another. The venue, the florist, the caterer, the photographer, the band. Each confirmation lifted a weight off her chest. By the last call, Colleen leaned back, breath slow, pulse steady. The storm inside her had shifted. From pain had grown resolve. For 30 years, she had bent, broken, and sacrificed for family, silent and patient. But tonight, quiet became power. She was no longer just a mother. She was the force behind every plan, every payment, every dream. And now, they would learn that love has limits. Morning sunlight spilled into Colleen's kitchen. Coffee sat untouched, steam gone cold. Her phone buzzed relentlessly. Ryan, Emma, family, friends, each message a reminder of the chaos she now controlled. Ryan's words were urgent, demanding, laced with guilt. "Mom, you can't do this." "The vendors, the venue, it's our wedding." Colleen read calmly. Her heart, once tender, had grown steel. Every detail of this wedding had been funded by her, and now she had the power to dismantle it. Contracts were reviewed with precision. Every vendor confirmed. No flowers, no music, no food. The wedding was gone, stripped bare by her own hand. Outside, the world went about its business. Inside, Colleen felt a rare thrill, justice, precise and inevitable. Family calls came, pleading for forgiveness, urging reconciliation. She ignored them. Her patience had ended years ago. Ex-husband Mark's voice rang with the same tired phrase, "Be the bigger person." Colleen laughed, soft and bitter. Quiet doesn't mean powerless. She had learned that. Screenshots of Emma's entitlement, invoices, unauthorized charges, a digital fortress of evidence, filled her laptop. Social media would be the next battlefield. Truth has a way of breaking through lies. And Colleen would let it. By evening, her plan was complete. Vendors informed, contracts confirmed, proof documented. She allowed herself a small, private smile. This wasn't just about humiliation anymore. It was about boundaries, respect, and reclaiming control. Weeks of simmering anger turned to shock when Colleen discovered the full extent of the betrayal. Hidden charges, extravagant expenses, secret bookings. Emma and Ryan had been using her love as a weapon. $26,000 for a honeymoon booked on her credit card. Designer luggage, private chef deposits, spa treatments. Every dollar carefully concealed. Colleen's hands trembled over the laptop. The wedding wasn't a celebration. It was a theft. Every check she had written, every contract she had signed, had been exploited. And she hadn't even realized it until now. Her fury sharpened, refined into action. Margaret Chin, her attorney, reviewed the contracts. Every clause, every responsibility, all hers. Ryan and Emma's entitlement would collide with reality. Ryan called that evening. Pleading, desperate, angry. Mom, you can't do this. Think of the guests. Think of the vendors. But Colleen didn't waver. Calm, measured, she stated facts. Contracts were hers. Payments were hers. Authority was hers. Emma's texts arrived, venomous and false. You're bitter. You've always hated me. You're toxic. Colleen ignored them. She documented everything. Every transaction, every lie, every manipulation. If this was a war, she would fight with evidence and precision. This was no longer about a wedding. It was about her dignity, her power, and finally seeing her children for who they really were. The humiliation had forged clarity. And clarity was lethal. Absolutely. Let's continue with sections 4 to 6, keeping the same cinematic, emotionally charged style. Each section will be around 500 words, building the tension, delivering the climax, and giving a powerful ending. The next morning, Colleen woke early, the house silent except for the hum of her thoughts. Ryan's car pulled up, tires crunching gravel. She watched from the window as he stormed toward the front door, every movement tight with anger and panic. He pounded sharply on the wood. Mom, open up. We need to talk. Colleen moved slowly, deliberately. She cracked the door. Ryan's face was flushed, hair unkempt, jaw tight. His voice rose before he stepped inside. You can't do this. The vendors, the venue, the food, they're gone. Yes, she said evenly, her tone cutting through the tension. Gone. And it's not about punishment. It's about boundaries. You allowed Emma to humiliate me. You did nothing. His hands shook, running through his hair. This isn't fair. It's our wedding. She stepped aside, letting him pace, letting the frustration roll off him like waves against the shore. It was never yours. It was mine. Funded by me. Arranged by me. And now it's gone. He froze. Words caught in his throat. He opened his mouth, then shut it. The silence stretched, oppressive and suffocating. Then came the damning truth. You've always chosen control over love. You've bent everyone to your will. Colleen's chest tightened, but she remained unmoving. I chose self-respect. I chose dignity. And I chose not to be used anymore. The pounding on her door finally stopped. Ryan stormed out, slamming it behind him, leaving the house echoing with absence. Colleen sank into her chair, pulse steady, heart pounding with a mix of grief and relief. For the first time, she realized the boy she raised was gone, replaced by someone incapable of empathy. Her phone buzzed incessantly. Emma. Ryan. Family. Social media notifications. She ignored them all. The world had its expectations. Colleen had only one priority, herself. She opened the laptop, scrolling through contracts, invoices, screenshots, texts. Each image was a talisman of her autonomy. She allowed herself a single, private smile. The wedding was over. The humiliation was over. And for the first time in decades, she felt untouchable. The storm outside no longer mattered. Inside, she was calm, resolute, unstoppable. By afternoon, social media had become a battlefield. Emma's posts were desperate, carefully staged, tears curated for the camera. Ryan's messages were furious, entitled, pleading. But Colleen sat back, detached, her calm a mirror reflecting their frenzy. One notification made her pause, an email confirming the Maldivian honeymoon, the $26,000 booking, and luxury extras, all charged to her card. Her lips pressed into a thin line. She let it sit for a moment, letting the betrayal sink in fully. Then she exhaled and smiled coldly. Margaret Chen's voice rang in her mind. They have no legal claim. They're dependent on you. not the other way around. Colleen picked up the phone, her tone even, sharp and commanding. Emma, your posts, your claims false. You've misrepresented me. Stop. A pause. Mom, please. Ryan's voice cracked through the line. Don't do this. I've done nothing wrong. All contracts are mine. All payments are mine. If you want this wedding, fund it yourselves. The line went dead. Relief wasn't sweet. It was precise, surgical. A door had closed. A chapter had ended. Evening fell, and the dominoes of the cancelled wedding began to land. The florist posted a polite notification. The caterer confirmed. The band, the photographer, each acknowledgement a public validation of her authority. Emma's carefully curated world was unraveling, and Colleen didn't intervene. She didn't need to. Truth has a way of revealing itself without your help. Then came Ryan's voicemail, sharp, bitter, accusing. You've never been a real mother. Always controlling. Now you've ruined my life. Colleen sat, unmoving. No tears. No anger. Only clarity. She deleted the message. In that moment, the last tether to the sun she once knew dissolved. She realized the extent of her liberation. She wasn't fighting for anyone else anymore, only herself. And in the quiet aftermath, the world seemed to pause. Her chest swelled, not with grief, but with power. Finally, the one who had been used, belittled, and overlooked had reclaimed her life. No apologies would be demanded. No forgiveness would be granted. Only peace. The morning sun bathed the balcony in golden light. Waves lapped at the shore. Distant gulls cried overhead. Colleen held a chilled glass of champagne, the scent of eucalyptus drifting from the spa. She watched the horizon, serene, untethered. The wedding went on without her. The venue rebooked, the flowers replaced, the music gone. She didn't care. Social media buzzed with speculation, gossip, and eventual revelation. Friends, vendors, and strangers began piecing together the truth. Emma's lies crumbled under the weight of evidence Colleen had gathered. A simple photo of her feet on the balcony, champagne in hand, ocean before her, captioned, "Happiness looks better on me." No explanation. No confrontation. Just peace. Comments flooded in. Recognition, admiration, validation. The world saw what she already knew. Boundaries are not cruelty. Self-respect is not vengeance. And generosity does not demand obedience. She poured another glass, the waves lulling her thoughts into calm. No calls, no texts, no interruptions. Just herself, breathing free. Years of bending, sacrificing, and silence had led to this moment. Absolute clarity and quiet triumph. Ryan tried to reach her again. She declined. Emma posted desperately, then fell silent. Colleen didn't react. The chaos she once bore with trembling hands now rolled past her, harmless, impotent. Colleen looked out at the endless horizon. For decades, she had been defined by her sacrifices, her quiet compliance. No longer. She was not a wallet, not a doormat, not a silent witness to her own humiliation. She was a woman who had endured, observed, and finally acted. A final notification pinged. She didn't check. It didn't matter. Behind the notifications, the lies, the manipulations, a single truth remained. She was free. Glass in hand, sunlight warming her skin, Colleen whispered to herself, "Being alone is better than being used. Happiness looks better on me." And for the first time in years, she believed it.